Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Republican Congressman David Schweiker today announced that he's running for governor. Schweiker joins fellow Congressman Andy Biggs and businesswoman Karen Taylor Robson in a crowded Republican primary field. The move also leaves Schweiker's Northeast Valley congressional seat wide open. And for analysis of all of this, we welcome political consultant Chuck Coughlin, CEO of High Ground. Good to have you here.
It's great to be in the ring, Ted. Free ring service.
It's getting to be a crowded ring here. Was this announcement a surprise?
You know, I always thought it was just jockeying for more seniority with the speaker for Washington seniority, because it's an important seat for the Republicans to hold on to. And I never really thought that he was serious about running for governor. Well, I was wrong. So he's in the race, and this is for real.
Yeah, there was also thought that he continually does this every once in a while when he thinks he's not doing all that well as far as re-election is concerned. You're not worried about re-election anymore. Why is he making this move?
I mean, my guess is he's been there since 2010. He was elected in that 2010 cycle. He got sworn in 2011 as a fiscal conservative and a budget hawk. Well, that constituency, like Jeff Flake, has left the building. It's no longer represented in either the House or the Senate. And certainly not the executive branch. These people are running up the deficit willy-nilly, and he is a deficit hawk. And I think that bothers him. My guess is that he is distinctly disturbed by that and can't rationalize why he's going to continue to support those types of spending practices.
Is he distinctly disturbed at what is going on in Washington, especially within his own party, with the president, his behavior, these sorts of things?
I don't know that he's that broken with Trump on a number of issues with the president, but this budget issue is the thing that, I mean, since his time that he ran, when he was in the legislature, this is what he talked about. When he was at the county, these are things that were his bread and butter issue, and that's just not a passion of anybody else's in Washington right
now. And we kind of referred to this earlier, but does it look like CD1? Does it look like his seat up there in Northeast Valley? Does it seem especially tenuous? It's always tenuous. Does it seem more tenuous?
It's always a Republican-leaning district, right? And it's a Republican turnout advantage, particularly in a midterm election. I didn't really think this was a challenging cycle for him because of the Republican turnout advantage. You know, in a midterm election, Republicans' turnout generally goes up. It was significantly past. It was 9%. Or a 9+ turnout in the last cycle. So it's going to be a double-digit turnout in this cycle. So I didn't think it was really that significant. This does open up the race because it removes the incumbent. And so you're going to have a bloody Republican primary now. And the Democrats are cheering, and Governor Hobbs is cheering.
Hey, I was going to ask you, but I want to get to that in just a second here, as far as the congressional district going. But back to the governor. Does he see a lane between Robson and Biggs? I mean, it seems like he and Robson would be, I would think Andy Biggs would be kind of happy right now. Or am I getting that wrong?
No, I think you got it right. I think the big beneficiary today is Congressman Biggs, who's got a loyal base of support amongst MAGA voters, Freedom Caucus goers. Turning Point has endorsed him. Charlie Kirk had endorsed him. That's his base. That's his base vote. And that turns up in a Republican primary, and others don't participate in those types of, to the degree. So there are some other types of Republicans, business Republicans, more moderate Republicans. David will compete with some of those on the big side because of some of his conservative credentials, particularly the fiscal ones. But, you know, Karen's a very steady candidate with the business community, and so I just personally don't see the lane. I may be wrong. God bless him. He's got smart people and Chris Baker and other people that work with him. But I don't see the lane that they do.
And also, as we mentioned, a big help to the Biggs campaign seems like a big hit to the Robson campaign.
I think so, unless the narrative becomes simpler for her now. The narrative itself becomes simpler for her because she's going to say, you got a choice between a businesswoman who's got things done, who's accomplished a lot in her career and with her life, and two congressmen who haven't gotten anything done. I mean, that's an oversimplification, but I can imagine her narrating that line, these two guys or me, two men or me, who's, I'm an option. And that could catch some voters' attention.
As far as Schweikert is concerned, is he MAGA enough for a GOP primary?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not the darling that Biggs is. He's not. He doesn't have the Biggs credential. He doesn't have the endorsement of the president. He's not going to get the endorsement of the president. He doesn't have the endorsement of Turning Point. I think these are things that only Congressman Biggs has.
Of the three, which would have the better chance against Governor Hobbs?
I think they all have a legitimate shot, given that turnout cycle, in the cycle this time. Of the three, I think the most feared one, from their perspective, would be Karen, with her business credential and her background. But she's also got probably the most difficult road to narrate in a Republican primary.
So with that in mind, I think you kind of commented a little bit on this earlier, but with that in mind, is this a good day for Governor Hobbs?
It's not bad. It's not bad. The more bloody the Republican primary it is, the better it is for her, because it's going to force these candidates into verbal combat. You're going to get comments on the record. Well, candidate X said this about candidate Y, and she's a member of your party, or he's a member of your party. So you're going to get that kind of commentary going by, which other candidates love to play back in the general election.
All right, let's get back to Congressional District 1. Schweikert's gone. Republican hopefuls, what are you seeing out there? We don't have time for everyone. Just give us a,
We don't. The names that I hear most frequently are Representative Matt Gress, a representative from that north central part of the valley, was Governor Ducey's budget director, as a two-term legislator now, has sided with made some important votes with the Republican side, was on the right side of the Axon bill, opposing the Axon bill for that part of the neck of the woods up there. So he's navigated. And then Gina Swoboda, the chairman of the Republican Party,
interesting,
who has an extensive background in election management, worked in the Secretary of State's office for many years and is a well-regarded election expert. And she's the chairman of the Republican Party.
Of the Democrats who have announced right now, does this impact does it impact the Democratic primary at all?
I think it'll create some more enthusiasm there on the fundraising side with some of them. Let me finish the Republican side first.
Okay. Oh, you got one more. Okay.
I can't imagine in North Scottsdale that some rich business person doesn't drop into this race at some point. There's people with a lot of wealth in that community up there. I know there's people. I know Schweikert has a lot of supporters that he thinks he would like to entertain endorsing one of them, I would think. So that may be an opportunity. On the Democratic side, it will enhance fundraising participation, but they have a giantly crowded field. Amish Shah won the last primary. Marlene Galland came in and ran a successful, campaign in that cycle, but came up short. They're back in the game again, and there's other people as well.
Hey, real quickly before you go, we're running out of time here, but Lieutenant Governor. Does the choice for Lieutenant Governor, it's the first time we're going to go through this, the choice for Lieutenant Governor among the three Republican candidates for governor, would that make a difference?
Yes, it will. And I don't want to, who knows? I don't know what is, there's been all kinds of commentary about, well, Karen Taylor could be Andy Biggs' lieutenant governor and make a pretty good Republican ticket. I don't think Karen wants to be the lieutenant governor. She's not saying that. She wants to be governor. Would David Schweikert be a good lieutenant governor on a Karen Taylor Robson? He's not doing it. They're both running for governor.
Right, right.
I think it's speculation. It's great barroom conversation, if you will. And we'll figure it out. We're less than a year away from the Republican primary, but those kind of conversations will continue to develop.
Chuck Coughlin, High Ground, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
It's a circus. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
I'm the master.